Hi, welcome back to Cybersecurity for Everyone. I'm Dr. Charles Harry. In our last episode, we talked about the threat actor type criminal organizations. And in this episode, I want to actually walk through a particular case study of a cyber attack conducted by a criminal. So this particular case study involves an organization called the Municipal Transportation Agency of San Francisco, SFMTA, sometimes referred to as Muni. So it's a city government organization in San Francisco that operates buses, light rail, and the historic cable cars of San Francisco. The bus and light rail systems run 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Roughly weekly ridership approaches about 700,000. Operates 75 transit lines and roughly 151 light rail cars. So a fairly significant size transportation organization for a major city.
The San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency has contained a cyber attack that disrupted its ticketing systems over the Thanksgiving weekend. The cyber intrusion forced the agency, known as Muni, to offer free services over the weekend. According to an agency spokesman, they decided to disable fare gates to spare their customers any troubles with traveling. The hack had no other effect on the transit service's operations. Muni announced in an update on their site that the situation has been contained. Now they are prioritizing restoration of their internal computer systems.
So starting in November 25, 2016, riders encountered a variety of signs, including out of service, free entry. And in fact, several of the computer terminals, including ticketing kiosks at a variety of different stations throughout the Muni system, had UR hack sprawled across their screens. So the initial assessment of this particular cyber event were that over 2,100 computers might have been directly or indirectly impacted by this event. That all ticketing kiosks across 120 light rail stations had to be taken offline. All gates to the rail platforms were left open and free admission was provided to passengers. Bus schedules that were normally done on a computer had to be developed and delivered by hand. Payroll systems and some administrative functions completely disrupted. Their email system taken offline. It is estimated that they lost over $500,000 a day because of this particular event. So the investigation of this particular cyber event indicated that they had been penetrated by ransomware spread throughout a large segment of its operational network. The initial access vector was likely a year-old vulnerability in one specific internet-connected device. The piece of ransomware that was used to shut down and disrupt portions of the Muni network was a common ransomware variant. A large number of machines, well over 900, suggests that this particular attack used network infrastructure to move that piece of malware throughout most of its network. The payment that was demanded, $73,000, was typical of other recent ransomware attacks in the United States. So how did Muni recover from this particular attack? Well, first of all, the organization decided that they were not going to pay the ransom. They had also done something really smart, which was to create not only backup files, but they containerized their system so that they could recover very quickly over 3 days. 75% of the computers that were affected are restored within a single day. The remaining 25% were down for more than 24 hours, some taking as long as 3 days to fully recover. But the important thing was that buses, light rails, and the cable cars are actually able to operate normally during this time period, even if they're not collecting revenue from the tickets. We have seen similar attacks in the years since against other municipal governments. These include Atlanta, Baltimore, New Orleans, and over 23 local governments in the state of Texas. So what can we take away from this particular case study? Well, first of all, possibly a single threat actor, but we don't know for certain. It could have been part of a broader criminal organization. Leveraged a vulnerability in a single internet-connected system. They leveraged that vulnerability to push a variant of ransomware across an entire operational network at the Muni system. Most of the ticketing kiosks and many of the administrative functions, including their payroll system and their email, was taken offline. The threat actor in this case demanded roughly $73,000 in ransom to unlock those systems. But Muni refused to pay, and they were able to recover most of their systems in a relatively short period of time. But we're starting to see, in the years since this attack, increasing numbers of ransomware attacks against municipal governments, including in places like Atlanta and Baltimore, and in 23 specific municipalities in the state of Texas. So this problem is not going away. And this case study did a nice job of framing some of the issues that municipal governments are facing from criminal organizations. In our next episode, we're going to talk about a different threat actor, hacktivists. I hope to see you next time.